Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. Want to bring you guys a little update on Bitcoin, some of the things that I was looking at. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. And guys, if you could, we're trying to get 200 likes on this video. You guys have basically been getting there almost to 200 on a lot of these videos, and I'm just very appreciative of that. Can't thank you guys enough. Also hit that notification bell if you do like these daily videos. I'll do my best to try to get them out to you guys. And also those little tutorials. I can tell people really enjoy those, so I'll keep those coming for you guys. But what we're going to be looking at today here, Bitcoin's at 3606, and guys, where's the volume at? There's no volume right now, and you can see how we're just moving sideways down through here. Look how many days we've just been moving sideways. And what's happening with this volume tapering down, whenever a big whale does come in, whether it be to the downside or the upside, the market's going to move very violently. And that's what we have to be prepared for. This isn't going to continue where we just keep moving sideways like this. We're either going to break up or we're going to end up breaking down. In my support area down here, guys, that I would potentially look for a long, depending on how things are looking, the volume and all that, down around here, that 3200 or so, maybe a double bottom off here. Now in terms of if we do get a move up, I would look potentially for a short, maybe up in this range, that 4200. Right around in here, depending on how things look as well, guys. And remember, this isn't financial advice. I'm just showing you different things that I'm looking at. We have heavy resistance up here, and then we do have a little bit of support down here. So those are the things that I'm going to keep my eye on. But with us moving sideways like this, as soon as a whale comes in, a market maker comes in, we're either going to get pushed to the upside or we're going to get pushed to the downside. Right now, guys, the trend's been down. My guess would be that we're moving to the downside. That's what I'm really preparing for. I'm also preparing for the upside, but the downside just seems more logical. We have the moving averages pressing down on us right here. Overall trend's been down, guys. I mean, you have this trend line here that a lot of people really haven't been paying attention to, but I think it's a very valid trend line. Like right in this area, guys, are off that wick there now, because we would have had it off here just a while ago. Let me show you. So check this out. So we were right here, but what we did, we just basically floated through it. We broke out through it, and then we just came right back down, and we've been moving sideways. So now where I'm putting that is over here off this wick, is what we're going to be looking at now. I want to see what happens with that. And remember, guys, we're on the day chart here is what we're looking at. So we're paying attention to that trend line coming down as well. And let me get that one off, guys. And the other one that we're looking at here is this lower portion of the triangle. Right in there. And guys, these are real body closes I'm trying my best to go off of here. About right in there. So you can see we're still working up that trend line. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days now that we've been moving up this trend line, just waiting to see if it's going to break or not. And that's why a lot of people have been putting, huge move coming, because a huge move is coming, guys. We just don't know when it's going to break. It could be 2 or 3 more days moving sideways like this, or it could happen any minute. But you have to be prepared for this. You have to be prepared for the upside, for the downside, and just go through and put them all, guys. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go through and we're going to see the bullish and the bearish side and what's in our favor. So far the moving averages, they're on the bearish side. So I'm writing this down. Moving averages, and that's bearish. And we're just going to add them up at the end, and we'll see where we're at. Volume, guys, we have to put that as bearish as well. Bearish volume. Okay. We are holding this lower trend line, which is good. So that's on the bullish side. We're making higher lows. So higher lows. Now on the bearish side, guys, we're making those lower highs. So we have to put that one in the bearish camp. And what I'm doing here is taking you through how I do this before I make a trade. I'll write down the bullish and the bearish cases and what it is for each. How many do we have for each? And right now, guys, we're having more bearish indicators than we are bullish. And that just is what it is. Now we can also put this here, heavy resistance overhead. That's definitely bearish, right? We have more resistance overhead. So bearish resistance. And then we don't have as much support down here as we do resistance up here. We have to factor those things in. Now, I'm going to clear off all this, and what we're going to do next, we're going to take the Fibonacci and see where we're at. It's always good just to clear stuff off, guys. Alright, we'll even get this. You can see this support line that I drew a few days ago. We were just grinding on that support line. So now in terms of the Fibonacci, see where we're at from the swing high to the swing low. Right in there, guys. So we're lower than the 0.236, which we talked about. It's hard to get back above that, and that's at $4,000. So we need to put that in the bearish camp as well. 0.236 fib. We are below it. So for that to be bullish, guys, we would need to close back up above that. Get up above it. So in that case, guys, that's a bearish sign as well. That's more overhead resistance. Now let's look at this reaction move that we had off the Fibonacci. And this is what you should do, guys, before you take any trades. Go through all this stuff. Alright. So, guys, we're also below here on that reaction. We're below the 0.618 fib. So we closed below that, which that's another bad sign. We are holding the 0.786, but, you know, guys, that's a deep retracement. Yes, we have had some 0.786 bounces this year, so we will put that we're above that, in the bullish camp, just to put it in there. 0.786 of reaction. Right? Guys, let's check out the RSI next and see how that's looking. And like I said, at the end, guys, we're just going to tally all this up and we're going to see where we're at. And then everyone can make their decision from there. And I think that's the best way to do it. Let's check this out. Alright, so the RSI, guys, at 42 right now, and it's also pointing down. So I'm going to put this more in the bearish camp. You could even draw a trend line right there. And wait to see, guys, if we're going to break out of that or if we're going to bounce down off it. So let's keep our eye on that. And another thing that I've noticed, we had a break in this on the day. Like right in here. When we broke that trend line, we fell down. Now we've just been consolidating, moving sideways like you see up here. So always draw support and resistance, guys, on RSI as well. So if we take this, you can see that we kind of had that double top there, that this has been an area that's hard to get over. So pay attention to that, and that's around 57. So guys, RSI, I'm going to have to put this in the bearish camp as well. All right. Then let's move to the MACD. And tell me if you guys have ever done this. Have you ever just went through with all these different indicators and wrote down what you see in terms of bullish, bearish, and which way you should go before you make a move? If this is how you guys do it as well. I just wanted to give you an insight here of how I like to do things. So here on the MACD, guys, we're going to put the MACD in the bullish camp. And the reason why we're doing that, you can see the histogram ticking up that we do have right here. You can draw that trend line with it, and we're also getting that cross right there. But you can see it's kind of flattening, guys, and just like kissing right here. But we're still going to have to give this, with the swoop and everything that's going on in the histogram, we're going to have to put that in the bullish camp. So let's do MACD in the bullish. All right. Then we're going to do our Bollinger Bands. And these are probably going to be neutral, guys. We're probably going to be squeezing pretty hard on these. Yeah, so we're getting that tight constriction there. So this I would put more in the neutral camp, just to let you guys know. But, you know, overall, if I had to say bullish or bearish, I couldn't say neutral. I would say bearish because this middle band here is pressing down on us. So we're not above the middle band, but we have just been moving sideways, and you see these are getting tighter. And when they get tighter, just like in here, then you have a little break here. And guys, what I'm assuming is it's going to be a break down to around that $3,200. That's just what I'm thinking. That's what I'm planning for. And, you know, so we're going to put Bollinger Bands in neutral territory. All right. And then, guys, let's look at the candles here. Let's really zoom in on these. So we've just been very, very tight. You can see in here it's basically like all these are inside bars here to this candle. Wow, guys, even taking it back to this one, it's pretty darn close. So all these are inside bars to this candle. Very close. Maybe this one closed down a little bit lower, but you can see how tight things have been and how we've wicked up to these moving averages to test them, and then we came back down. Look at this wick here. Came up, came back down. Down here, wick down, had some bottom fishing, came back up. So that's why I said this support and resistance here is so important. Right there. We don't want to break that, and that's 35.71. And we want to break up above around that 37.72, see if we could get a run up to maybe 4,200. That's what we'd be looking for. So candles, guys, we're just going to put neutral here, but the overall trend is down. So if I were to classify like what's going on here, we're having the stair step down. And it's almost like a descending triangle. If you take a look at it like this. So like right in there, and you can see the lower highs that have been taking place. Then we're having this flat bottom here. And about 64%, 64 to 70% of the time, guys, a descending triangle will break down. And then usually about 30% of the time it can break up. So you have to be aware for the upside on that as well. But you know, I'm definitely seeing a descending triangle. And remember the last descending triangle, we had that huge breakdown. So be aware of that as well. So I'm also going to put descending triangle. We're going to put that in the negative camp. All right, and then candles, let's just put neutral. All right, so we've went through the Bollinger Bands, MACD, RSI, volume. Now, guys, our last one here, we're going to look at the pattern. We're just going to step back, and that's kind of that descending triangle when we're talking pattern identification. So we're stepping back. Let's get our support and resistance off there. Just like that. So guys, we'd be looking here as a trend line, and then I would be looking here as support, and that's your descending triangle right there that's forming. So is this bottom going to hold, or are we going to break out, guys, on volume? And that's what we have to pay attention to. Remember, trend down 70% of the time, these descending triangles. Remember my book of patterns I've been reading. And guys, I am going to be getting the encyclopedia of chart patterns, which I'm very excited about. That's like the granddaddy, so that's going to be very, very cool to read to you guys and study with you. But, you know, guys, you got a 70% chance of it going down. You got about a 30% chance of it going up. Factor in all the moving averages, factor in just the overall trend, all that. So, guys, when we tally this up here, now on the bearish side, we write this down. Bearish, we have our moving averages. So that's 1. We have bearish volume. We have lower highs. It's 3. We have, let's see, the Fibonacci. That's 4. Both ways. We have the RSI, 5. We have the pattern, 6, the descending triangle. So there's 6 in the bearish camp. So 6 for the bears. And then for the bulls, we have higher lows. We're above the 0.786 reaction, and the MACD is bullish. So we have 3 for the bulls, and then we have 2 neutral. So guys, that's what we're seeing here. Of all the indicators, all the stuff we went through, we got about 6 or 7 on the bearish side, we got 3 on the bullish side, and we have 2 neutral. So that's why I want you to leave it down low. What do you think? Are we going to continue the trend? Are we going to continue to go down, which we have more bearish indicators in our favor? Or do you guys feel as though the bulls are going to step in and we're going to see a break out of this like happens 20-30% of the time? Are we going to have that happen since we didn't take that major dump off the ETF news? And that could be bullishness, so we could put that in the bullish camp, guys, that there wasn't a major sell-off, so maybe 4 there. Or are we just going to continue to move sideways for a couple of days? Because that's very possible as well. But guys, this is what I do. I like to go through. I like to see what's going on, bullish, bearish, the overall, and then you can add in the fundamentals, different things that are taking place. And guys, another thing in terms of the fundamentals, which I want to get in with quick to you guys. I'm sorry, that was a tongue twister for me. But you're seeing a lot of articles out there of just complete bearishness. Oh, Bitcoin's going to 0 or this or that. that's great news, guys. That means that the bottom's getting very close. Just like when you're seeing news articles, Bitcoin's going to the moon and everything else, that was the time to sell. When your grandma and everyone's asking you, how do you buy Bitcoin and all that, that's the time to most likely be selling. And now they're holding Bitcoin funerals, and they're saying on all these articles, this guy believes it's going to zero, or there's no value to it or anything, which isn't the case, guys, at all. They haven't done their research or haven't studied, but maybe that's the time to start looking a different direction after one more big dump. One more leg down, and then start accumulating positions for the next bull run, which, we may not see the top of a bull run for 2 to 3 years. The run could last. Where it just starts and you're just having that slow, gradual move up where it takes a year. You're just gaining slowly, and then you start moving up. So that's what I wanted to bring to you guys today. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for all the thumbs up, the comments, the likes, everything like that. I really appreciate you. And it's a pleasure to always be here with you guys. Please be safe and have a wonderful day. God bless.